What's up, everybody? Welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosa. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, welcome back, buddy. Once again, we return.
Oh yeah, we're at it, and if not, who would I talk to with video games? I gotta get that done.
Yeah, no kidding, man. You gotta get our daily fix in.
That's what it's all about. Every morning now.
It kind of is, right? Dude, we got an interesting show today because it's a crime in Red Dead Online. Minecraft now has age restrictions, and Apex hackers, well, they achieved absolutely nothing. But before we get there, though, Scott, PSA, quickly head over to InsideTheGame.ca. Check out our latest review of Sniper Elite VR. This is an experience you're going to have to try, and you should definitely go check out our review. And also, tune back in later today at 5 p.m. Eastern, as we'll be live covering the latest PlayStation State of Play. All kinds coming up today, Scott. We got a busy day, buddy.
Oh, yeah, busy day, and the week won't stop for me.
Yeah, no, let's get going, because I'm looking forward to July 13th with Red Dead Online Blood Money. Summer update arrives on July 13th with plenty of PvE content. Available across the game's 5 states, those opportunities are offered by Angelo Bronte's right-hand man, Martelli, who calls on you to recover private bonds, known as Capital, that should not have ended up in the wrong hands. The Blood Money quest encompasses new missions called Crimes, kind of a la Heist via GTA, Scott. This is where I'm getting at, buddy. This is something I think we've all been waiting for in Red Dead. Picked up at Martelli's contracts across the world by committing these crimes, which include robberies, coach holdups, kidnapping, debt collections, etc. You get clues on where you can find Capital. The same values can also be organically found in free roam, such as the homesteads or camps, which is awfully pretty cool, dude. I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I believe this is the first major expansion, at least, to
finally.
Red Dead at all, and we've been waiting for it. Yeah, I was just gonna say I think there's a big hunger in this game for new content of some sort.
Absolutely, Scott. We've been waiting for a lot of new content coming. You know, I've been in here and I've been playing for hours with everybody. We've done Let's Plays for the show, right? But Blood Money missions are playable in solo or co-op with other players. Collect enough of Martel's Capital and you unlock opportunities. The first of which is available at launch, with 2 more coming later. Each opportunity can reveal various approaches to the task at hand. Listen into nearby conversations or look out for important targets to uncover new paths to completion and weaken this politician's position by bringing each of the 3 jewels of the West to Martelli. So finally, we're going to get what I've been waiting for, Scott. I want the bank heist, dude. I want train robberies. I want this content that, it sets up so well for the West, and yet we have yet to see it. Well, coming July 13th, here is our opportunity. I'm definitely curious to see what the future looks like here, as we've had, roles to play. So I've maxed out my trader role. I maxed out a lot of the roles, especially the bounty hunter one. That was one of my go-tos, like the first one I ever went to. And I was in there, and I was there heavily. And after all, doing all that, and then the moonshine, we've been waiting for other roles to come around. But what we've all been starving for, Scott, is this DLC.
Yes, yeah. It seems like this is kind of the one that hits what everybody was kind of requesting. The roles and the bounty hunting and that section of it was major, but it didn't quite give enough mission-based content.
Sure.
It didn't really feel like it felt more like free roam kind of stuff to do. But this one sounds like it'll finally give my compulsion to leave damsels in distress on the rail tracks may actually have a utility now.
It may be, right? It's I'm curious to see if they set up the same structure as they do with heists in GTA, because you go out and start the mission, but you're multiple missions in before you actually accomplish the final end result, Scott. So is it going to be still in the same realm of it's almost like a side quest when you pick up a bounty, right? You and your posse roll out and you go grab the guy or the girl for the bounty, and you come back and cash it in at the sheriff's office, and that's it? Or are we going to get a structured here's how the mission goes. You got to go, like with GTA, you had to go out and get a getaway car, and then from there you had to go get a submarine, and then it's stacked until you actually hit like the final aspect of the mission, and then that's what I'm starving for, Scott. This is what I want. I want that the Red Dead feel of the campaign to be brought over into the online component for these like crime missions.
Yeah, I want major operations. I think you described it well. Something where perhaps we're securing horses. All of us need horses to catch the train. If that fails, we need explosives on the track or something to derail, or invent a scenario where we have the train has to hit the brakes, so it's an opportunistic time to rob it, or something just like a carriage left over outside of a bank that we have to heist. There's really, my imagination is flying, so I'm really hoping they have a lot of stuff packed into this one.
I'm curious to see how long it's going to go. Like, GTA Online is one of the biggest online proponents out there in the world of video games, and it's just an absolute moneymaker. And it does really, really well. And I thought the structure of it all was fantastic to go out there. I was doing it with doing all these heists and stuff with my brother and some buddies and things, and we were having a great time. So if we can keep that and bring that side over to the world of Red Dead, oh, Scott, man, like there goes my online time, buddy.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard getting those reviews in after that.
That's,
for a little while.
That's right. I'm gonna review this. I'm calling it now. We're reviewing crime, Scott. Let's do it. Let's.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, why make it a job when we can just do it? So let's get it done.
Turns it into something productive. We're gonna be doing that anyways.
That's right. Yeah, we're gonna play it anyway, so we might as well just review it. So yeah, I guess look forward to that now. Inside the game, there's a little business inside right there that I didn't exactly plan for today, but. There it is. Scott, let's get into what Minecraft is up to, because I just, this is weird to me. Minecraft implements age restrictions in South Korea. So maybe not so weird. Let's talk about it. Mojang Studios' popular sandbox game is recommended for ages 12 and up by South Korea's Game Rating and Administration Committee. But the paper reports Microsoft recently informed South Korea users that they would need Xbox Live accounts, which are restricted to those 19 and older to continue playing. Like that's this is weird. The move appears to stem from the 2011 Cinderella law, which prohibited children from playing games between midnight and 6 a.m. Rather than add the kind of screening functionality of Xbox Live, Microsoft changed its policy in 2012 to mandate users must be at least 19 years old. Despite that, Minecraft has until recently allowed users to sign in with their Mojang accounts, sidestepping the need for age verification. In response to Minecraft now only being for adults, users filled an online petition against the shutdown law to the office of the president. Korea's game market is at risk of being the world's only place where Minecraft is labeled as an adult game, the petition said. Scott, dude, this is obviously it's a little different over there for where we are here, but Minecraft is a game for all ages. So to be restricted to 19 years old, I think they're gonna lose a lot of their audience over in South Korea.
I want to specify my stance on Minecraft for adults. I think it absolutely is available for everybody.
Yes,
I think to age restrict it in any grouping would be kind of silly. And this sort of, I like that they call it a Cinderella law. I think that's quite imaginative. You don't want these kids staying up all night turning into pumpkins for the next morning playing Minecraft all day. But it's kind of interesting because this comes from South Korea, not their neighbors to the north. I didn't know they were quite as strict on media consumption in general.
Yeah.
So this is kind of this is kind of a learning moment for me, just to kind of get a look at what their gaming culture looks like. Because prior to this, I'd heard South Korea was very positive towards gaming, esports, and the like. But this seems to be a step in the other direction.
Well, when you get in the realm of esports, man, like South Korea is huge. They dominate over there in that Eastern market, right? It's their Asian market, sorry. And it's just To see Minecraft be pigeonholed to now you have to be 8 or 19 years of age to play it is just it's kind of mind-boggling. But that's the stipulation right now because in order to play online, which Minecraft has an essential that you play online with others and stuff like that, you need Xbox Live, and in order to do that, yeah, you're supposed to be 19 years of age in order to purchase that. Just man, I'm curious to see where this all kind of falls out in the end. But it was an interesting little news bit we came across, so I had to get it in there,
Yeah.
Scott.
Oh, it seems interesting because I'm not familiar with their laws locally,
No,
but
not at all.
can they drive a vehicle before they can play Minecraft? Is
Maybe, I don't know. Well, we'll find out, I guess. But let's move on to Apex Legend hackers achieved nothing of value and forced devs to work overtime, says Respawn. After a group of hackers hijacked Apex Legends playlist, Respawn devs have spoken out and snapped back at the hackers, saying their efforts achieved nothing of value. After Respawn's Battle Royale, Apex Legends was the victim of a massive hack drawing attention to Titanfall hacking over the holiday weekend. One of the studio's developers has revealed that the attack achieved nothing and just made the team work unnecessary overtime. Respawn's communication lead Ryan K. Rigney noted on Twitter, "I was holding my newborn nephew when I found out about the Apex hack." Man, here we go, right? Like that's had to hand him back, go work, and miss out on the day with family. Also, Sunday's attack was tied to an awareness campaign that we've already publicly acknowledged. The problem is not awareness, it's that DDoSing is just a hard problem to solve. Really hard, he continued. The team has never stopped working on DDoS solutions, and anti-cheat is just a never-ending war of whack-a-mole. On the DDoS front, we will solve this. When we do, I promise you, it won't be because hackers made us aware of ruining a holiday. They achieved nothing of value. Man, it's Scott, like,
it's a hard situation there because,
right?
of course, they want to fix their products, keep their products good and in the
Yeah.
hands of consumers. It really was a hack kind of on behalf of the fans of these series, but at the end of the day, they can't condone something like that. That's not the way to fix things. And if every kind of disturbed player started doing stuff like that, we wouldn't have an online forum at all. So I definitely hear what they're saying, and there's a personal issue there with this guy in particular.
Yep.
Everybody was on holiday, and this is not this doesn't make them want to fix the problem anymore.
No.
And I kind of have a confusing stance on this because I can understand the frustration, and I'm a huge Titanfall fan myself.
Yeah.
Titanfall 1, namely. Titanfall 2, I kind of fell off, although I still love the game.
Sure.
But I want to see Titanfall 1 work, but on the other hand, I recognize that as an older title now. And it obviously takes a backseat to Apex, which is their current product, and that makes a lot of sense too.
Yep.
But what is the solution to this, really? Do you really want to see them shut down the servers? I would be okay with that if they came out with Titanfall 3. But I think that's a lot more over time.
Well, when's the last time you even played Titanfall?
Yeah, it's over a year now.
That's the other side of it too, right? Now, how many people have shifted from Titanfall 1 over to Titanfall 2, or completely right into Apex, or just don't play any of them? That's like, logistically, their team is only so big, so they need to focus on what is driving in the most money, because at the end of the day, Respawn is a business. They need to generate money in order to pay their employees, right? That's the other side of it too. It comes down to covering your costs of everything and running a business. And where do you put all your attention into? You put it to the product that is generating the most amount of money right now. And then you maybe have a couple people working on the other things. Cheating never ends. There's always somebody looking to somehow, for some reason, cheat on a game, Scott. And whether it's a single player or a multiplayer, and that takes a lot of resources to figure that out. How do they solve that? You always see, especially in the world of PC, these anti-cheat software programs that if you go on to like Epic Games, they have a software that you need to download at the same time, so it prevents cheaters and things like this, right?
Yeah,
So
I believe Ubisoft has one as well tied to
absolutely,
Siege.
yep. Like Blizzard's got one. Everybody has one. They are always working on it. So it's not like they aren't aware, they being Respawn, aren't aware that they have cheaters over there. There's cheaters in every game around the world. That's the crappy part, Scott, because cheating gets you nowhere. And like if you
Still don't
have
understand it myself.
well, man, if you have to cheat to get ahead in the game, well, you just suck in the first place. So get good.
Yeah.
Like it's just it doesn't make you better when you're cheating. That it's frustrating for everybody else. It is frustrating for the developers because they just want people to enjoy their game, and you're ruining it by cheating. And then they get hacked on a holiday, which even made matters worse because at the end of the day, didn't resolve anything because they're already aware of the issue that they're currently working on. So like it didn't solve anything, and it just ruined people's holiday. And man, it's just never a good thing. So hopefully people just be a good person and stop cheating.
Yeah, stop cheating and hacking is a tool in the toolbox, but not every tool or not every job rather requires a hammer.
Yes.
It's not quite the way to get it done.
No, sometimes it requires a sledgehammer. Scott, let's move on. Let's move on to Battlefield 2042. Co-developer Dice LA is now called Ripple Effect Studios. Battlefield developer Dice LA has changed its name ahead of the studio's reveal of a new mode for Battlefront 2042 later this month at the EA Play Live. Going forward, the Los Angeles-based studio will be known as Ripple Effect Studios. The name is meant to represent the idea that the smallest idea can change the world. We believe that the true transformation in the game industry begins with small moments like an enlightening conversation in a hallway or a prototype yielding unexpected results, the studio said in a blog post. Our ambition is to become a studio that excels at everything, not just making games, but also the process of how we make them. We want to reach a super level of quality in everything we do, no matter how big or small. This philosophy applies to everything, from constantly refining our development process to cultivating a positive community culture and growing a thriving community. Scott, they're just changing their name to kind of stand out on their own, which makes a total ton of sense. Because you don't want to, like, Dice is Dice. And then if you think of Dice LA, dude, you never really think of Dice LA. You just think of Dice as a whole company, right?
Yeah, we're familiar with Ubisoft having multiple locations, and
Absolutely.
Ubisoft Montreal is responsible for certain ones. Ubisoft Quebec does
Shanghai, yeah,
and that makes sense. But when it comes to Dice, it's not quite well known. Perhaps we're just not local enough to really recognize
sure
what Dice LA does as opposed to other things. But I can understand them wanting to have a self identity. But there's a little tidbit in there. A new mode for Battlefield 2042. Do you think it's what I've been joking about this whole time? Are we getting a battle royale?
Well, maybe, right? Ripple Effect's current project is a player-inspired experience for Battlefield 2042 that remains a mystery until its announcement at EA Play Live on the 22nd. Additionally, Ripple Effect said it is beginning work on a yet-to-be-announced project as well. So they got a couple things in the works there, Scott. But you think we're going to get your battle royale that you keep predicting?
Well, I want to be positive on that, but I know how the Battlefield 5's iteration of that went, and it was not very favorable.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're going to be a little hesitant to add something like that to the game. But the only thing that I could think of otherwise that's not just a variant of Team Deathmatch or something like that is a PvE mode, perhaps.
Oh, okay.
That would be really cool to me.
Sure.
I don't know if that would be super popular because Battlefield is known for being PvP, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But if they kind of combine what could have been a campaign, we hear there is no campaign in this one. If they find an online venue to kind of host that and put 64 players against an NPC army or something to that effect, I think that could work out really well. That'd be interesting for me.
Scott, full price for a PvP game only with no single player campaign whatsoever. Is that a good move, or you think they should drop their price?
Oh, I would like to see them drop the price, but we've seen things that kind of fit that demand full price already. Overwatch being the one I go to.
Yeah, for sure.
But funny enough, as similarly to what I just suggested with Battlefield, the Overwatch had an online venue to kind of put their story forward, and they had different weekly events that would introduce PvE kind of missions that came out, and that was a really cool, interesting way of doing it. So as long as they can find a way of telling a story, I don't think it needs to be labeled campaign for it to be successful.
Well, that makes sense too. But now you also see Overwatch 2 bringing in a campaign. So,
that's
right?
True.
So you see
very heavily requested.
Well, that's the other side of it. So we'll see what the future looks like in the world of Battlefield 2042. I know, dude, everybody I talk to is super pumped. They're excited to play this game. But we'll see. We got a few more things to talk about, Scott, before we get into game releases for today. I want to talk about this ROM site being sued for $2 million, but misses its first payment to Nintendo. Nintendo has filed a permanent injunction after the owner of a ROM website has apparently missed the first $50 payment following a costly $2 million lawsuit. Back in June, Nintendo won a lawsuit against Matthew Storman, the owner of a ROM website called ROM Universe that was distributing Nintendo games illegally. Nintendo won the lawsuit against Stroman as a court ruled the ROM website profited from large-scale copyright infringement. The website also charged its users a subscription to access ROMs at their leisure. Dude,
I don't like that.
No, right? So and then
it's one thing to be a pirate. It's the secondary to be a pirate that's charging money and making money off of somebody else's property. That's a step too far, in my opinion.
So that's what he's done, and then to boot, he's missed his first $50 payment. $50 out of $2 million, dude. It's gonna take him a lifetime to pay that back.
Yeah, I think that's a calculation on his part. He's decided that he's not going to be able to pay the $2 million. And why even begin if you can't? I suppose, but you're really just asking for Nintendo to throw you in Nintendo jail.
Well, here it gets worse though. When ordered to pay Nintendo $2 million in damages because Stroman was unemployed, the court ruled that he must pay back the money in $50 monthly installments. However, it has been reported that Stroman has failed to make the first payment. As a result of the missed payment, as hosted by Torrent Freak, Nintendo has now filed a motion of reconsideration for a permanent injunction, which would prevent Stroman from ever relaunching his site. Oh, dude.
Yeah, they want to shut the door on that one for good. And
absolutely,
I can understand that for sure. Nintendo is very cagey about their property, and even when it comes to something they do approve, it still takes a lot to make that happen. So. Yeah. Seeing them crack down on this one in particular, I'm surprised we haven't heard more about this because I'm not familiar with the names of the sites anymore. No. Not sure I should say them even if I do, but
no.
There's a lot of ROM sites. I don't recognize this one in particular. So
sure, but
there's a lot out there.
Scott, let's move into game releases for today, buddy.
Yeah, we have some releases. Unlike most of the days this week, there are some major releases today, and that would be Sam and Max. This time it's virtual. I can't read.
Welcome to my world.
I'm gonna try that again one more time. Sam and Max. This time it's virtual, and that's coming to the Quest. There is Boomerang X coming to the PC and the Switch. I'm curious on what that one is. And we have Sniper Elite VR making its way to the Rift, the Quest, and the PlayStation VR systems. And that is today releasing. And I believe we have a review on that one on our main channel.
Absolutely. Head over there and head to InsideTheGame.ca to check that out. Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with us. And you can always join us live over on twitch.tv/theofficial ITG, as well as YouTube. But if you can't join us live, it's no big deal. Hit us up later, InsideTheGame.ca, where you can see that Sniper Elite VR review, as well as podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Until tomorrow, everybody, I'm Drew, that's Scott, and this has been Inside the Game.